So then guys, the new iPad mini 7th generation is now here. The 2024 model is now among us. But lots of you guys are wondering about all the techie kind of benchmarks and things like this. How fast is this iPad mini in comparison, say, to the last generation iPad mini with the A15? Because obviously this has the A17 Pro inside of it, but only it has a 5-core GPU instead of the full fat version of the 6-core version that was in the normal A17 Pro, what we got in the likes of the iPhone 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max. How does this compare to the last year's generation model? And also, in some cases, how does this compare to the A17 Pro in the iPhone 15 Pro models? Well, today we're going to do a comparison and we're going to check out loads of different benchmarks. And I think the best thing we could do, first of all, is do the traditional Geekbench 6 test. So what we have here, we have the new iPad on the left, the old iPad on the right, and the iPhone in the middle. I'm just going to speed up this Geekbench test here. Now I'm just going to say this is the same order. I'm going to keep these three devices all the time. Unless the iPhone disappears, the other two iPads will stay in the same place. And here we go. Let's have a look then at the score. You can see here straight away that we're definitely getting a big gain in single core performance. And then obviously the iPhone A17 is definitely faster there in CPU performance, but you can see it's still miles ahead than what we got with the old iPad mini with the A15. Single core and multi-core is definitely ahead here. That's definitely impressive to see. So whilst we're still in Geekbench, we might as well just do the Geekbench 6 GPU test. Let's see how this compares then to the last generation iPad mini and also the iPhone 15 Pro Max 2. So like I said, I've kept the devices all in the exact same order again, just sped this up obviously to do the GPU Geekbench 6 test here, and we'll see what the results will come through. They'll start to come through here. The other two devices finish first, but there we have it. You can see here, we are definitely getting a good increase in speed. We're getting about, I'd say around about a quarter more speed than what we had in GPU with the A15 in the new iPad, but obviously the iPhone, we'll definitely get even more power there. It's definitely with that extra core, it is ahead with the A17 Pro 6-core version. So there we have it. Now, obviously the Geekbench 6 GPU test is, in my opinion, is probably not the best one to actually do out there. So what I've decided to do is I've decided actually to use 3D Mark next of all. Let's do a wildlife extreme test across the three devices and see what differences we get here. So I have all three devices all lined up ready to go to run Wildlife Extreme on 3D Mark. So this is the main test we're going to do. Let's get them all started here. So let's run this over and then let's just speed through the test here and let's get to the end and let's have a look at the results that we've got right here. And you can see straight away we're definitely getting some big improvements here. We were only getting like about 16.4 frames per second on the old iPad. The new iPad we get 20 frames per second dead, whereas we've got 23.3 inside the iPhone. So this is really, really impressive to see here. We're definitely, again, getting far better performance than what we had before. Maybe because the A17 Pro does ray tracing and things like this. It's got all the bits and pieces for that. But yeah, there's definitely an improvement here in graphics. And then next of all, let's now do an AnTuTu benchmark to see then what the difference is there and across the three devices, what we're getting there. Because obviously this does kind of a everything in one kind of benchmarking. So this benchmark is the longest one to complete with all three devices. So let's get started here with all three of them. And obviously there's so many different sort of tests that this does. So again, I'm just going to speed it along here because it's going to take a while to complete and everything. So let's just get to the end and get to the results. And there we have it. And wow, what a difference this makes. In fact, it's saying here that the iPad, the new iPad, is out in front. And I think the main reason behind that is actually the memory test here, what you can see, is actually out in front there than the actual memory what's inside of the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So there's definitely an improvement there. That's where we're getting the higher overall score, as it were. That's where the big differences are. But then again, everything else, you can see the differences. They are lower compared to the other A17 Pro, and obviously that's expected. But then also the iPad mini, the 6th gen, obviously we're getting the score there, and you can see that is lower than both of these devices. So next of all then guys, some of you guys are probably wondering what's the speed of the NAND chips inside of this? How fast is the storage inside of these devices? Now I will say this, that my last generation iPad, the 6th gen, I've got 128 gigabytes inside of this, and this one is a 512 gigabyte option. Now I don't know if we've got multiple NAND chips in both of these or just singular, but I guess we'll find out when we do this test. So, let's have a look then to see what the speed difference is right here. So I'm using Geekbench Lite here to do a quick test, and let's just run this. We'll leave this run actually, we can see the scores, and wow, look at that straight away. I've just clicked on the finished here. Look at those differences that we're getting in read and write speeds. That is like double the amount we are getting in compared to the last iPad mini. It was incredible. And then the write speed, whoa, it's like 3 times more here. And then obviously the random 4K is far faster. Again, just look at those differences there, and the read and write speeds in 4K. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely there's got to be 2 NAND chips maybe inside of this, or if there is 2 NAND chips in both of these devices, obviously the new iPad mini has definitely got faster storage inside of it. So this is super interesting to see that Apple have improved the speed of storage inside the new iPad. So yeah, this is going to be great to use in the future. Now, obviously, we can do all these benchmarks all day long, but what about some apps out there that have their own benchmark sort of bits and pieces built into it? So what I decided to do for you guys next of all is I'm going to run Affinity Photo 2. It has its own benchmarking tool. Let's have a look at the scores then between both of these devices. So here we go, we've got the apps open here. So yeah, they're both working very, very well here to do this, but there's a benchmark tool inside of here. So, what I can do is I can just run it here on both these devices to see what the speeds are. Just run it through, speed it up again to the end. And there we have it. There's the score. And you can see here the A17 Pro is definitely pulling ahead here. It will definitely help you out in an application like this, like Infinity Photo 2. It will really, really benefit for you to actually have that extra A17 Pro inside of it with those GPU cores too, chugging along. So yeah, this is really, really great to see. And then last of all, what I want to talk about is the actual heat, what both of these devices actually emit out of them. Now, obviously the A17 Pro, when it was in the iPhone, was quite a hot chip inside of it, a lot of you guys thought. So what I did was I ran AnTuTu again, and you can see here how hot it actually gets. So the new iPad here is on the left, and we can see here we're getting about, I don't know, 38 degrees there, and the other iPad, this is on the screen side for both of them, about 35, 36 there on the hottest point. If I flip them over, still running the test, on the back is still the same iPad, the new one, it's about 39 degrees there, 38 degrees, thereabout, and then obviously we are getting here on the older iPad, about the same really, about 39 degrees there. So yeah, not much in it what to see between both of them in heat-wise. But there we have it then, guys. The A17 Pro is faster than the A15. We knew this was going to happen, but then the A17 Pro, what's inside the likes of the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, is even faster, and definitely that extra core is making a big difference there in GPU. And personally, I'm not too sure, but maybe even the CPU is being knocked down by like 100 megahertz or 2 inside of the A17 Pro inside of this iPad. I'm not too sure there, because obviously what we were getting with those kind of scores there on Geekbench, things like that, even in single core performance and things like this. And remember, the CPU cores are exactly the same in both those type of A17s. You were getting a bit lower there, a bit more lower than I was actually expecting. So yeah, there is a bit something going on there. Maybe it is clocked down a little bit slower inside the likes of the iPad mini 7th generation. But there we have it though, guys. That is a kind of Geekbench and benchmarking, kind of different kind of scores that you've got there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. With that in mind then, are you thinking of getting yourself the new iPad mini with an A17 Pro inside of it, or are you going to skip over it? Let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons like we've done today, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.